looks like Simon. Timed that right, didn't I? You got, I see, all right, okay, just in case.
I don't ever wear them.
Yeah, morning.
Morning.
How you doing?
Not too bad, not too bad.
Good-o, you got some results from me?
I have.
Yeah, and I've already had a warning that they're not brilliant.
P levels are crap.
Is it?
Yeah.
All right, well, let's go and put the kettle on and you can tell me all about it. Right then.
These are your samples. So you got in here. You got your back sheets of all gives you what your index P.
Everything is in there, yeah.
All that sort of stuff as well. And you've got one which I know Matt did a more comprehensive on one of them.
There was one where we had a fairy ring with the mushrooms.
Right.
And we wanted to see the difference in the makeup of the ground in that fairy ring.
Soil and thing in that one, and you've actually got a. Tell me on this one, what field was it? It was pigeon meat.
Oh, right, that's pigeon meat, so that's that one over there.
Yeah.
So that's probably the poorest one.
That's got a sandy silt loam.
Yeah.
On that one, which is unusual for around here. I tend to get more clays involved in the loams and stuff around here. So that one there, yeah, it might be a slightly different makeup to the rest of them.
We never do very well up there.
Right.
So, but he did tell me the nitrogen that was terrible because of the wood chip.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Well, I'll let you lead this because you're telling me, not me telling you. So.
Right. What we've got. I'm looking at if I put that on.
Biscuits are very important. Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, they're very important for me then.
My problem with biscuits is once I start.
Right.
I don't tend to stop.
I'll take the temptation away then.
Although the fields, they all look pretty similar.
Phosphorus is awful.
The P levels are through the floor.
Yeah.
They're in 0s to 1s on every field.
Right, okay.
Which is my main concern. My pH isn't too bad. Not too worried about your pH on any of them. The way these work is green, all good. Yellow's a bit high, but there's certain things you don't worry about if they're too high. There's 2 yellow lines what you've got on every single one of them, which I see every single time I do a soil test. Mag and organic matter.
I don't think we were too bad for magnesium rain. Mind you.
That's what I mean. I get good high magnesium readings on everybody wherever I go around here because there's so much natural mag in the ground.
Okay.
That I'm yet to find anyone who's had a green on the magnesium. I'm yet to find anyone who's gone down. Certainly anyone who's gone down to red.
Okay. So we're kind of running the mill, are we?
You're what I'd expect to see for the area we're in.
Okay, fair enough.
Magnesium. I always say to people, look, when I'm looking at magnesium, we sell lots of magnesium blocks.
Yeah.
The blocks we've started to use. We sell loads of them in magnesium. I sell them to one person.
Yeah.
And he buys them as an insurance policy.
Okay. So we used to feed mag for the cows in calf.
Yeah. It's still a good idea to do it.
Just because it helps with the food intake and the breaking everything down.
It's still a good idea to do it, and it's a good thing for going through staggers and that sort of thing as well. So it's still a really good thing to do it, and that's why he buys our blocks. He does it as an insurance policy rather than I've got to have it because my cows need it to stop them getting staggers and things like that.
Prevention better than cure.
Prevention better than cure.
Yeah.
He's always done it, and he buys a few off me this time of year when he buys his because he buys them in like 48 at a time. He uses blocks all year round.
Oh right, okay.
And when it comes to this time of year, he just throws 12 in
right.
and just puts them out. They take them, they don't, they don't.
Okay.
But they've also got the goodness of everything else that comes in with all our blocks that are in there.
Yeah.
So my main issues with yourself, which is the reason why we do the more comprehensive test as a standard, is your phosphorus.
Yeah.
And then your trace elements.
Yeah. So the copper, I had suspicions on me copper. Because a lot of our calves...
We spoke about that before, didn't we? When you bought the blocks, and you bought a block that you bought the Nutra-V-Fit block because of the copper.
That was it. I was suspicious that copper was an issue here. So apart from that field there.
Yeah, but then it's still not...
Playground.
It's still not right up there, is it?
No, not really, no.
Just edging over the top.
Yeah.
So you're okay with it, but it wouldn't hurt to carry on using your blocks.
Yeah.
with copper in. And I know they've changed them, taken the copper out of the grass block that they're using and gone to the V-fit block. So we'll just look at a slightly different block.
Yeah.
When you don't need the garlic. One was got a bit more.
Well, the garlic we'll be finishing with them shortly.
Exactly.
Because we won't need them, and then whatever I've got left, I'll keep for next year, and then I'll change it.
We'll go on to a different block which has got decent copper levels in it. So we've got something like our oligo or our digest. Because the copper levels on those are up there.
Yeah. Okay.
So my main issues with your fields, as with all of them, are the
phosphorus
levels, and then come down to your trace elements.
Yeah.
But whatever we put in the ground anyway will deal with your trace elements.
Okay.
Because our stuff does.
Right. Okay.
It's all got our trace element package in it, which is what makes us different to your commodity fertilizers anyway.
Right.
And your commodity stock, your commodity things.
Well, I know Reg was saying this morning, because we're going over to the farm later on after this, because I told him we were going to come over, and he did say that he's cut right down on his nitrogen.
Yeah.
But that's because of what you guys have been supplying him with other stuff, and it's meant that he's.
I put Humustat on his.
Yeah.
Which can give you an extra up to 50 kilos a day.
Yeah. So he's
50 kilos a hectare. Sorry, on the old nitrogen.
Yeah, he's definitely an advocate for it. So.
And the product, what I'd be looking to put on here, I'm not sure if it's the same one or very similar to what I put on Reg's farm.
Okay. So, well, bearing we're not a million miles away from each other, that's kind of...
Yeah. It would have been one or the other. I was either going to be looking at it over at Reg, or I'd either put Humustat on there.
Yeah.
Which is something that breaks down all your organic matter, works with the organic matter levels you've got, which are all high.
Yeah.
Which is good. Works with them, breaks it down to give you that extra nitrogen out of the ground.
Okay.
Fertios works in exactly the same sort of way.
Mm-hmm.
The big difference between Fertios and Humustat is Fertios has got a good kick of P in it.
Okay.
Whereas Humustat's got none.
Okay.
So
same product, but
very similar product. They break it down. Fertios actually breaks it down better.
Okay.
I'd love to be able to go to everybody and use Fertios 5 because it breaks it down quicker and better.
All right.
It's a better product in that sort of sense. The only different, like I said, the reason I can't give it to everybody is because it's got P in it, and if I go into a field with got good P, I can't be going, throw this on there. It's got a quick whack of P in it.
What's your source of phosphorus? I don't know.
I'm not 100% off the top of my head.
So I like putting people on the spot.
Because they don't tell us what's in a lot of it.
I don't know. Is it a secret?
Yeah.
Is it like Granny's secret recipe?
It's Granny's secret recipe on a lot of it because it's all...
it's all trademarked and stuff.
Trademarked, or it's got all... I've been all tested and they can't let us know what's in it, so otherwise other people will come out and make it. So we don't know. Even David, who's our product expert and product specialist in this country, doesn't know what's in half of our stuff.
All right. Secret stuff.
Secret squirrel stuff and all that sort of stuff.
Okay. As long as it works.
Works brilliantly. So, it's absolutely...
and preferably eco-friendly.
It's it's not designed to be, but can be used on organic farms.
Okay. All right. Okay. That's fine.
But what we say with all our organic products is they were never designed to be organic.
Right.
Because when a lot of people design stuff to be organic, they're taking all the good stuff out of it.
Yeah.
And it's not actually very good.
Yeah. Well,
a lot of organic people don't actually go and put anything on their farms.
I think half of our problem years ago was when we started the farm here, sort of 28, 30 years ago, we decided to try and be as organic as we possibly could. So we didn't put any chemical or whatever inputs on at all for years and years and years. And I actually think the land is worse for it.
And that's the thing. A lot of people do that, but then the old practices were mow it, were plough it, plough.
Well, we didn't do much plough, but it was just...
or even just plant, rather than have like permanent pastures and things like that with a lot of them. It was, we'll have a pasture here for a couple of years, then we'll put maize in it. Then we'll go back to grass in a couple of years afterwards, which is a good practice if you treat the soil.
I think the problem we had, our biggest problem here was compaction when we took it on.
Compaction can ruin.
And then we were grazing and mowing, but we were taking more out than we were putting back in. And I think over a period of time, it's just been detrimental to the grain.
Unless you put something with it.
Yeah.
That can happen.
Yeah.
That can happen because you're just taking out. You take. It's the same as anything. If you take. Eventually, you'll be nothing left.
Yeah. Well, we were relying on the animals to put back, and rather than putting anything like this on there. So, and I think it's a case of it's come full circle, bit us in the bum, and now we need to
look at something.
Need to put this back. We needed to go green again.
Yeah. Well, like I said, this is all organic.
Yeah.
What I'm suggesting is all organic, and it can be. I use it on organic farms.
So it's the same product across the whole farm, across the whole lot.
Across the whole lot.
Yeah.
There's 2 products what I'm recommending.
Yeah.
One does have some nitrogen in it.
Yeah.
And doesn't need to go down till next spring.
Then what? Sorry.
Doesn't need to go down till next spring.
Right.
So
Okay.
it can't because it's got nitrogen in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that will help you with your sulfur and sodium levels.
Right. Okay. Yeah, because they're all pretty low.
They're quite low. But
Yeah.
I expect that going into any farm because they're leachable products.
Yeah.
They're leachable. They work in exactly the same way as nitrogen. If you were to look, if I was to have a nitrogen line on here, that would be red as well. Because it is a product that you should be putting back on every year.
Okay.
And the thing with your sodium being low,
Yeah.
your cows will eventually stop taking your grass
Yeah.
because, well, it's the same as you and me, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you get some chips and you eat them normally,
Yeah.
they're not very nice.
Yeah.
Sprinkle in some salt and vinegar.
Yummy.
Put that salt over and
Palatable, yeah.
we're away.
Yeah.
So sodium is that, and obviously sulfur is needed to work with the nitrogen. So recommendation wise, what we would recommend, and like I've told you before, I'm not facts qualified. I am going through it, but this was signed off by Bobby, who is my manager.
Okay.
So what we're recommending, Fertilizer 5 across all of them. Now what I've done when I've done my costings and everything, I've actually done you two costings because Matt left me a little note saying Pigeon Mead.
Yeah.
You're going to be renting out for a year.
So next year, that is actually going to be. My neighbour approached me and said, could he plant a crop of maize on it?
Right.
He's going to throw many tons per acre of muck at it and plough it.
Okay.
So obviously, that's all. A lot of that's going to change once he's taken his crop of maize off of it.
Yes.
So
do you know what won't change?
What's that?
That.
The phosphorus.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when you get that field back,
Yeah.
it's still going to have a phosphorus issue.
Well, we can address that when we get it back, can't we? So we're going to be getting it back in.
You can do it one or two ways.
Right.
You can either throw it in with this and get it a little bit cheaper
Yeah.
because you're buying it in bulk.
Yeah.
Or buy a bag
Right.
or two.
Yeah.
And
Whichever way is going to work out most cost effective and how I can store it as well. So
it will store.
yeah.
To be honest, I wouldn't even store it. I'll just throw it on.
Yeah.
Get it on there now. Start
really?
treating it now
Yeah.
so that when you get it back, it's a better field
Okay.
than what it is being 2 years down the line from this one, this
All
one,
right.
this one, and this one. Because then you can keep on the same rotation.
All right. Okay. That's fair enough. Yeah, that makes sense.
Rather than having them on different, having one field on one rotation and all the rest of your fields on another rotation just because your neighbour borrowed it
Yeah.
for a year to put his maize on.
Yeah.
If you were saying my neighbour's going to have it for 3 or 4 or 5 years, I'd say bin that field.
Yeah.
You don't worry about it. It's not your crop that's going to come off of it. You're not going to worry about the grass that's coming off of it. You're not going to worry about anything you get off
It's
that
one
field.
crop of maize we suggest.
Exactly. So, and with him putting his muck on there, it will work with your organic matter
Yeah.
as well. It will work with the Fertilizer really well.
Okay.
Because Fertilizer obviously breaks it down, it puts the nitrogen in there, it breaks it down, gives you a more hospitable place to grow and starts building it. And the quicker you're building that field and getting that field into a good condition for you, when you put your grass in there, put your cows in there, the better.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we're going to be planting grass seed. Well, October next year. So
Yeah. So I would certainly recommend
doing it anyway.
keeping it in the list, the loop. While you're doing them all, you just want to keep it in the loop.
Okay.
Because it's only a year.
Yeah. All right.
But I have worked it out with that in and with that out in what your costings are, and
Okay.
there's not much.
So that's going to be a lot, and that'll be slightly less than a lot.
Yes and no, because I'm not talking about nitrogen products.
Yeah.
For now,
Yeah.
I'm not talking 1,000, 1,500 quid a ton
Is it?
because there's no nitrogen in it. And as soon as you take nitrogen out,
Yeah.
prices can start to come down.
Okay.
Now, Fertilizer 5, we recommend going across. The dosage for it would be 200 kilos per hectare.
All right. Okay. That's not a massive dose.
So
then.
not massive doses.
Yeah.
The advantage it's got over Humastart is your first dose of Humastart should always be 500 kilos, 500 kilos per hectare, and then you come down to 250 on the second year. This way you can go straight into 250.
All right. Okay.
You can go straight into 250, or with the levels you've got going at 200.
And this is the one with the added
This has got
P.
This is the one that's got the P in it.
Okay. So it's got more in it, but it's cost less.
Costs slightly more than Humastart.
Okay.
Humastart you have to put double amount on.
Yeah. Swings and roundabouts, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. So Fertilizer comes in at 640 a ton. you need 6 ton to do all of it,
All right, okay.
which would be 10 bags.
Yeah.
Brings it in at 3840 to go all 5 fields.
Okay.
Now, have you got any other fields out there that want that are in this block?
No. That's
No?
pretty much, so we've got Avenue, Bottom Avenue, Playground, golf course. So that's all of them. I've got one little tiny field down there, which is, it's 1.8 acres and it does nothing, so it's not worth it.
If you wanted to, you will have a little bit left.
Yeah.
At 200 kilos because they come in 600 kilo bags.
Okay, so you could chuck it down
So
there.
we always round up.
Yeah.
Chuck it on that one.
Yeah.
It won't hurt because if it's in the same block,
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, it's going to have the same issues.
Yeah.
Which is why my question was.
Well, the only thing down there is I have no livestock on it.
Right.
So the only stuff that goes, because I take a crop of hay off of it every year.
Just throw it on. Just get you slightly better hay.
Yeah.
It would help for your hay.
Okay.
So whatever's left, just throw on there.
Well, that work out because that's 1.8 acres and I've got 200 kilos left. I'll end up with.
Roughly about what you need.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It won't hurt. So long as you got less than 250 kilos left, throw it on there.
Okay.
If you've got more, then bring it back and keep some in the shed.
Yeah. Well, it's better on the ground than in the shed, isn't it? It's not doing any work in the shed. So.
And you ain't got enough to warrant saving it for next year.
Okay.
Without buying another load. All you want to do is add to what you got left in the shed.
Yeah.
Come the end of it. So that will go on now.
All right. Okay.
Get that on while you can.
Yeah.
And let it work over the winter.
Right. Okay.
Let it do its job over the winter. Let it work. Let it get in the ground, get the ground moving, and get your grass growing, and get your decent grass growing. And put your pea in the ground over winter.
Okay.
And then in the spring, we would recommend putting one of our nitrogen products on.
Right.
Primarily with this one because it's for you because it's got sodium.
Right. Which we're short of as well.
Which we're short of as well. This is why I've gone with this particular product.
Okay.
It's one what we use for grazing. It's a nitrogen-based product. It's designed for grazing. It's also got your trace elements in there as well, so it'll give these a kick as well in the spring.
All right.
And again, looking at 200 kilos a hectare.
Right.
Normally you can go on around 250, but because you're using something on the stock lands, then we can bring it back a bit.
Right. Okay.
The nitrogen that's going in, that we'd recommend to put in is a protected nitrogen, so it's long lasting. It stays. It
doesn't just wash away.
It doesn't wash away. It's anti-leaching.
All right. Okay.
It doesn't come out of the ground, so it stays there. So actually, when you look at our nitrogens, generally we are around 30 to 40% more available nitrogen in the ground than what you get in putting in the commodity.
It only releases when it rains. When it stops raining, it stops releasing.
Well, not necessarily. It's there and it just releases when the plant needs it. The plant take up.
All right.
It won't release when it's raining as much because if it does that, then it's just going to leach away. Whereas because it's protected and it's slow release, it will release it as it needs to release it. So it releases it at the time when the plants actually need it.
Okay.
So it's there when the plants need it rather than.
So you should need less of it then, because it lasts longer.
You can put less of it on. Again, like I said, we've gone down to 200 rather than
250.
Rather than 250.
Yeah.
The reason I'm putting on a lot of them, I go down to 150 with it. The reason I'm not is because you need that hit of sodium.
Okay.
You need the hit of sodium. As you
Yeah.
can see from all your results, they're all lows and they're all in the they're all in the zeros.
Yeah.
When you look at the indices.
Yeah.
So we need to get that sodium in the ground to get it going to give you decent grass for your cattle.
Okay.
Now that one comes in at 884 a ton.
Okay.
Which, when you consider, I had a customer yesterday quoting me, he'd been quoted 970 for protected urea, for 24.0012.
Right.
He was quoted 970 last week.
Okay.
A ton. 884 is not that bad.
And I need 6 tons again, do I?
You need 6 tons again.
Starting to get a bit painful now.
That works out at 9144. Those prices are for if you bought it all together.
All right. Okay.
And stored. Well, no, that works out at 5304. Total will be 9144.
Yeah.
That's if you bought it all together, because
Yeah.
then you're coming into one. Of my
I was thinking that sounded quite a lot when you said just for the.
Yeah, no, I looked at it online.
Yeah.
That puts you into our 12 buying 12 ton. which puts you into the next category of discounts.
All right, okay.
Effectively. If you did it individually, it would go up by a couple of pounds a ton.
Okay.
But
Well, if you're going to do it, you might as well just do it, and you just...
if you've got space to store 6 times worth of product, then I would suggest buying it and storing it all now.
I could probably find... also, how heavy are the bags?
600 kilo.
Oh, I can just about pick that up, so... Yeah, okay.
Now, the other thing I've put on the bottom of here, which is something what I've done with Reg, what I've sold to Reg as well, is because you're doing a reseed, and this might be something to talk about later on down the line, or it could be something while you're buying this in to bring in, is a product called Physio Start.
Okay, that would go in with...
Physio Start, Physio Lith, sorry. It's a root it does similar sort of job to some of these, but it's got a root stimulator in there as well. It goes down just before you do your reseed.
Okay.
As you prep the ground,
yeah,
your reseed, and you prep it, you plough it up to get rid of all the...
I think...
however you're going to get rid of the maize that was in there.
I think they're just going to put the topper over it and then drill straight on top of that.
On top of that.
Yeah, so...
you can do that. But as you're putting your muck in, all that sort of stuff, and you're preparing your ground to let them come back a week or two later with your grass seed, put Physio Start on, or Physio Lith on there. It gives you... It'll start to prepare the bed for them, but it's also got a root stimulator to get your grass away.
Okay.
And gives you a really, really good
So
kick
pigeon
away.
mead, the last 2 times I've seeded that, it's been I mean, the first time we bloody drought straight afterwards, so that killed half the grass. And I think even the second time, we had a dry period and we just did not get going.
Yeah, which is where something like this comes in. And it will just give it that good rooting structure, gets the roots good and strong, so that the grass starts to come away. And then you've given it the best fighting chance you can possibly give it.
Yeah, so we're going to plant up there as a forage-only grass.
Yeah.
So it's probably going to be more vigorous.
It'll be slightly more vigorous, but again, you've still got that getting it away.
Yeah.
It's a similar sort of conversation to what we had with Reg about his OSR. The key to a good OSR is getting decent root structure and getting it away.
Well, the Pink Star helps that, doesn't it? So.
Which is where Pink Star comes in for us. And obviously his whole structure of Pink Star, sludge and everything with it worked.
Did.
So we're doing the same again this time, and it's...
I think we averaged 2.2 tonne.
It was 5.0 tonne to the hectare you had.
Yeah.
Which was unheard of.
It was. I know we did quite well.
Yeah, it was unheard of. We've got it as a study.
Is it?
We put a study on it. It's on our website and everything. It doesn't name Reg at the moment, but it names it as Farmer P because you don't want to name it until he's had a little bit more. But at the minute, it's.
It was. We were quite impressed, and with the bushel weight.
Yeah.
And because actually our bushel weight was a bit better than Reg's, which he wasn't happy about. Why have you got 3 more kilos than I have? So.
Don't know, just something in the ground.
Yeah.
Just something in the ground. But he was obviously they've been really impressed with it, which was why when I went back to see him, he went on to the next step and put fertilizer in there as well to try and get his grounds a little bit better. I've just done another load of testing for Reg.
Have you?
And I'm looking at that to see what we need to put across some of his...
well, that's what we're going to be doing now. Once we finish here, we'll go down there, and there's it's about 15 acres we're putting back into...
Has it had sludge on it?
It had slurry on it up until about 5 years ago. No.
It's sludge, I need to know, because when I went back to do Reg's fields before...
It's grass.
We were going to go in and have 3 or 4... We were going to do like 4 or 5 fields. I ended up doing 2 because the sludge fields get tested out before they put the sludge on. So,
no, this has been grass for the last 30 years.
Right.
But it's had, when the tenant had it before, up until 5 years ago, especially the one, had a lot of slurry on it.
Yeah.
You know, like almost constantly pumped out their slurry, which is why I think it's so acid.
Yeah, and we'll see that from the from what it gives us, and again, our products can help you to neutralise that a little bit because of the calcium and stuff that's in it.
Well, Reg was saying that he did a pH test, and I think he said it was like 5.4 pH.
Yeah, that's low.
That's
low.
That's scary numbers. That is.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, especially for what you guys, the way you guys farm it, it's really low. I don't like to see anything.
That's my magic number, 6.9. I like that number.
Between 6.5, 7.5 is where you want to be.
But
6.9 is right smack in the middle. Your 7.1, 7.2s, which is where you are with your other land. I wouldn't jump out of out of the way of any of those.
Yeah.
They're good numbers for your pHs. To be fair, you got some good numbers all the way across the top three are all good numbers.
Yeah. Well, we lime about every 4 years, but we've been using not the calcified lime. We've been using the is it the mag lime?
Yeah.
From up at Dagenworth.
Well, what you'll see if you start putting like Fertilizer and our Nutrigrass and stuff like that on it, you'll see the needs to lime come down.
Right. Okay.
Because we've got calcium in all our products, so it can do the same sort of job.
Buttercups are usually my indication. There's a case of too many bloody buttercups, bang some lime on there. So
it's a good indication for us as well. We go in and see we've got buttercups all across the field. So we're like, right, you need to do something.
Yeah.
We need to test that field to find out what.
Well, we can see from the avenue here, from the avenue to the bottom avenue, there's almost like a block of where the buttercups stay, but they don't come up the top end. So there's something obviously going on in the soil there that
definitely
affects them. So.
Definitely.
Right.
I mean, and our products aren't unusual around here. I've got 3 or 4 farms that I've passed on the way to you that are using it as well. Corner Farm, just over the road.
Oh yeah.
I was with Eddie last week.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So yeah, I do it. I was over with Eddie. He
Yeah.
has our blocks, and I've put Humustar and a couple of other products into him.
Yeah.
That we go with.
Okay.
So, how does that sound to you?
Well, the thing is, I knew that we had an issue
Yeah.
with our grass and our soil and our ground. I think some decompaction, although in saying that,
Well, this will help.
the hot bloody weather we've had and the cracks we've had, I think some of our ground's been naturally subsoiled anyway.
Yeah.
But
this sort of stuff will help with it as well, because it's breaking that organic matter up.
Yeah.
It helps reduce the compaction levels in the ground.
So with the costings you got here, which is what, 9,000?
9144.
Is that plus that?
Yes.
Right. So that is that going to be like an annual cost on this?
It depends the way you go. I mean, you can. Fertilizer, what you'd eventually do is you'd bring that down, because once you've got your P levels right, you wouldn't need to use Fertilizer anymore. You can just go to Humustar, which is pretty much half the cost.
Right. Okay.
And Nutrigrass, who knows at the moment?
All right. Okay.
Because Nutrigrass is obviously driven by the wild world of nitrogen.
Yeah. And who knows what's going to happen with that?
Who knows what's going to happen? I mean, we're expecting protected urea to go up to 1,500 quid.
Do you reckon?
Before, that's what the market's saying at the moment. Before long, protected urea is going to be 1,500 quid.
I wouldn't be surprised. What's going over in the east?
There's none.
Well, and what there is being held to ransom.
Exactly.
So.
One company put out the other day they're getting literally a quarter of their normal supply in. And one of the bigger companies put out they get a quarter of what they're going to supply. We're not held to ransom as much by a lot of them because we make our own.
Okay.
So we're not reliant on the CF over here and the Yara factories abroad, which have all been closed.
Okay.
We've got our own factories. We do our own. We mine a lot of our own raw materials as well. I think the only thing we are relying on is the gas. It's the nitrogen side of it itself, which we buy in. But everything else we tend to mine.
Well, the thing is, I mean, we'd already kind of decided that that whatever was needed to be done, we can't just let this carry on.
Let it go. You can't let your P levels as they are carry on.
No,
it can't be done.
I was quite disappointed with those. But yeah, so I think we're going to have to do this.
Yeah.
And it probably will end up me writing a check at the end of the day and just doing this. So
now, one thing to consider whilst we're doing the delivery we're doing is the physiolith. Did you want me to put that in there as well? That's only an extra 400 quid. Or leave that for, but because that will sit in the shed for 12 months.
Will it?
That will sit in the shed until you're reseeding. Because generally we do say 6 tons our minimum order.
Yeah.
However, I can get you 1.2 ton through Ian.
Through Ian or through Reg?
Ian.
Ian.
Over at Nichols.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Nichols will deliver me 1 point. That's how I got Reg's stuff to him, because Reg didn't buy 6 ton off me.
Yeah. Yeah. It might end up I'm having to sort of buy my stuff and Reg and I go together and we just put it together. And
I can get you 600 kilos here. Ian will deliver as smaller orders I need delivering.
Okay.
Through Timac, I can only deliver 6 ton.
Right.
So if I deliver through Jay's at Timac, I can do 6 ton. As it is, the size of this order, Ian will probably end up delivering this anyway.
Yeah.
Because I'll put it through Ian over at Nichols as the reseller, and he'll probably end up delivering it himself because he's got a 14 ton wagon.
Yeah. It's getting it off this end though because I've got a limited height
Right.
capacity,
Okay.
and I can lift 600 kilos, but if they're on a pallet.
Right.
If they're on a pallet, I can pick them up, but I haven't got the height to pick a bag up.
Okay.
From
you've obviously got some pallets around.
Reg has got hundreds of pallets.
So when it's going to be delivered, we can get pallets here to put it on, and then you can move it.
Yeah. So it's So if he's got a crane, he's going to lift them off on, stick them on pallets, and then I can.
He'll get a tape off the thing.
All right, that's
off
fine.
The truck, because he delivers this sort of stuff all the time. So he's got the ability to get them off the truck.
Yeah.
And if you just lay some pallets out on the floor, say you'd need 20 pallets.
Yeah.
And if you went with the physio lift, you'd need 22 pallets.
Right.
And just say, right, just stack it, each individual in there, and a pallet out in the car park, and then you can move your pallets where you need to move them.
Okay. Just got to find somewhere to put 22 pallets.
It'd be 22 bags you could get in. If you went all of it, you get 22 pallets.
Okay.
If you didn't go all of it, you're going to get 20 pallets. So it's
Yeah. That's going to be my one issue this time of year is where I'm going to, because at the moment the sheds are all, even the new sheds, they're all full.
Yeah. And the other option, I mean, don't forget, 6 ton of it is pretty much going straight out.
Yeah, I suppose that's true.
That's 10 bags. That's 10 pallets. It's pretty much going straight out in your fields.
Yeah.
It's got to be, I'll put it in for delivery for like 10 days' time. And pretty much need to be getting it on so that we don't lose the window to get it on.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair enough. I've got to find somebody to come and spread it for me, that's also.
So 10 bags will be going on.
Yeah.
It goes on in a normal fert spreader.
Okay.
There's no issues with spreading it or anything. It's a granular.
Yeah.
It's a granular pot, so it goes on in a normal fert spreader without.
Yeah. Long as it's set and calibrated and done the job. That's
set and calibrated the right thing. And our NutriGrass again goes on a normal fert spreader.
Okay.
So it's no issues with any of that.
Right.
And PhysioLith, when you come to that as well, again, is a granular product that goes on with a normal fert spreader.
Yeah. Might have to buy a fertilizer spreader. Right. Okay. Yeah.
So we're going to go for all of it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do it. Get over the pain. And then I'll sort out some space where we're going to put it. So, but I want 20 pallets, is it? 22 pallets.
22 pallets.
Right.
And you'll need to get it off the truck.
Yeah.
Because it'll be 13.2 ton altogether. Because you'll have the 6 ton of fertilizer or 6 ton of NutriGrass.
Yeah.
And 1.2 ton of physio lift.
Okay. And the physio lift is to go on with the
physio lift to go on your reseed.
Yeah.
So when you're packing away, obviously put that in first. You stick that in the back.
Yeah.
And then you can.
I might even see if I can put that in a shipping container out of the way. Just
as long as it stays dry.
Yeah.
As long as you stay off the floor and dry.
Yeah. All right. Right then. Do you want another coffee before we go over there, or are you all right?
Fine. Fine coffee wise.
We'll go over there and we'll have a wander around, and then I'm gonna have.
Is Reg about? Do you know?
I'm gonna ring him and let him know because he's spraying. But right, well, we all knew this wasn't going to be a cheap exercise, so to try and start the beginning of getting our ground back into shape. Some of the trace elements were really bad. Our pHs wasn't too bad. Our pH hovered between 6.9 and I think it's about 7.2, 7.1, 7.2. So it was kind of okay on the pH. Sulfur was through the floor, which is obviously an issue. And our copper was low. Well, our copper was, we kind of anticipated that. But the ground just hasn't been supporting the grass for the last few years, and that part of that is down to the fact that the first 20 years of doing the farm, we did try and do everything as organically as possible, which meant no inputs. I know a lot of this stuff is organic friendly, but we just tried to steer away from anything like that. But not that we couldn't afford it. I mean, even now. 9,500 quid is a big chunk out of the farm budget, but you can't keep taking. Sooner or later you have to put something back, and if I've spent the last 20 years taking more than I put back, we've kind of got to hit the ground running with this. We've got to we've got to basically get stuck in and put some stuff back in. So yes, it was a bit more than I thought we were going to have to spend, and yes, I could probably reduce the rates a little bit, but you know what, if that's the results of the analysis they've done and that's what they've come up with, and going by the results that neighbours and friends, including Reg, have had from the Timac Agro products, yeah, it's only money. Hello, Reg.
How are you?
You alright?
Yeah, I'm in the yard. You calling in or not?
I can do, yes, because Simon wanted to speak to you about something to do with some sludge results or something. So I'll call in to you first.
When are you going to call in?
Be about 10 minutes.
Oh, about 10 minutes. I'm still filling up, so I'm in the yard. All right?
Yeah, alright, see you in a minute.
See you in a minute.
Cheers, bye-bye.
Bye.
Right, we'll call in to see Reg first, and then we'll go down and look at our grass. He knows where he's going at Reg's. Right, we've dropped in and seen Reg. Swapped a few bits of paper. Time to go and look at some grass. Just dibbing, so.
Yeah. Right.
So, right then, after you. So like I said, this is little Barnells, and we ummed and ahed about taking a cut of hay off of it, but there's not really quite enough to make it worthwhile.
No.
So, another fairy ring there, look. So yeah, 10, 12 days, this will all be ploughed.
Yep. And go into wheat again.
Winter wheat, yeah. So Reg isn't looking forward to plough this because it's ridge and furrow.
Yeah.
Doesn't show up very well in here, but it is.
You can see it. You can see
Yeah.
the grass.
Yeah. Well, he's got to go up and down that way.
Yeah.
So long ways of the field is that way.
But then it's just going to.
But yeah, so he's got to do. It's going to be turning up and down. No. Yeah.
Big piece of pitch, turning up and down. It's quite small.
It's going to be a bit of a thing to play, really.
Yeah. Nice one.
No. But Roger's convinced there's something wrong with the ground out here. So, and this is what
we got. So is this the one that Reg
tested with the very acid.
What is?
Yeah. He said it was 5. He reckoned it was 5 point. I think it said 5.7.
But he's only tested a couple of spots in the field, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think actually he actually put his tester in a couple of the bald patches.
Yeah.
Because we didn't know if we might have a few chafer beetles around as well, just little patches of that. So
yeah,
it's possible.
The best way to see what that's is to dig some holes.
Yeah.
Dig some pits and
find them. So another fairy ring.
Pretty much the best way to get rid of a lot of that is to dig it up and let your birds have them.
Yeah. Oh, a mate of mine down south, he's put chickens out on his.
Yep.
So
yep,
Justin from the hay team.
Plough it up, let your birds have it, and they'll go to town.
There's actually a crane fly. I haven't seen many of them this year. Birds have been giving them some stick as well, which is a good thing.
Yeah, I'm not noticing much leatherjackets around this year either.
No, too dry for them.
Yeah.
They haven't liked it. And the jackdaws and rooks have been giving them a right hiding at our place, so.
They've been out everywhere.
Yeah. See, she's quite friendly now, look.
She is, she's good as gold.
Yeah.
I said she was good as gold when we sat at the table earlier.
Yeah, it's only when you put your hand in the car window.
I touched that window and she
That's her job, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, I don't need a car alarm, I got a biscuit.
Yeah, she's good as gold. Like this.
Yeah. Right, I'm going to love you and leave you.
Yeah. No
But I don't know if you want to. Do you want me to send you a copy of the plan of the map or anything, or Reg has got one back at the shed there.
I need a copy of the plan. All I need is to link in with you.
Acreages.
No acreages, and we'll talk about what's going on it, what ain't gone on it.
All right. So all this has had since we took it back off the tenant 3 years ago is nothing.
Nothing. It's fine.
So nothing in the last 3 years, and before that it was lots and lots and lots of slurry.
Don't matter about what it was lots and lots and lots of slurry ago, because that was over 12 months ago.
Yeah, well past 12 months
You
ago.
can only really look in 12 to 18 months
Yeah.
as to what's gone on it, because by now that will have gone
Yeah. I
and
think,
done its damage and stuff.
actually, when I think it, there was a minor dressing of a granular fertilizer end of last year. Went out there, but that was
Again,
a year ago.
not so much about it.
Yeah.
12-month stage. So
Yeah.
anything nitrogen-wise and that sort of stuff in it will have gone.
That would have gone, yeah. All right. I'm more interested in the sort of trace elements side of it, so,
Yeah.
okay.
It's just when we're putting the plans together, we like to know, we need to know what's in it, what it's going into, and what's been
Yeah.
put on it.
Nothing in the last 12 months.
So if I know it's grass going into, is it all grass going into wheat?
Yeah, so this is going into wheat. That showground staying grass.
Permanent pasture.
So we're just testing that because it's in between the two.
Yep. And the field where I'm
Parked. That's going into wheat.
that's going to wheat as well.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's had nothing put on it.
Nope.
So just need you, if you just text me across the acreages
All right.
for the 3 fields individually.
I can do that.
That'd be good.
All right. No worries.
From there.
I'll do that. Lovely job. Thank you, mate.
I will speak to you soon.
All right. Cheers, Em.
No worries, buddy. Thanks for later.
All right. Bye-bye. So same as last time when Matt came out and did our testing, Simon would go across the farm, across each field in a zigzag pattern across the field to get a fairly even sample of each ground, which would then be bagged separately, labelled, sent off and sent for analysis, which hopefully we'll get back fairly soon, because Reg wants the results ASAP, because we need to know what, if any, inputs we need to put in this, either when we're drilling, so if we're going to add a fertilizer with the drill, you know, if we're going to be drilling in 2 weeks' time, we kind of need this information yesterday. But yeah, so fingers crossed we'll get that back soon. We are going to test the showground as well. So this has not been sprayed off and will not be played up. We're leaving this to grass. But although we usually get 2 cuts off of this ground, I still think the grass out here is a bit patchy, and I think maybe the ground could do with a bit of assistance. So we'll get this tested as well, and it might be a case of going by the results of that test. We might add to our order, providing the results come back in time, add to our big expensive order some more that can possibly come over, and we'll ask Reg to put that on for us out here. Yeah. I just said to Simon, in the 20 odd years of farming at home, and bearing in mind that £9,500–10,000 worth of input is just for my farms, it's just for the 50 odd acres at home, I have never ever spent so much on inputs in one go. I think the biggest bill I've ever had for nitram a couple of years ago was £3,500. So the input cost to help the ground has trebled, which would be okay if the output value also trebled. But like for our beef, when we put that £3,000 worth of inputs on our ground, I think we were selling beef at £12 a kilo. Inputs have trebled, and we're selling beef about £14 a kilo. So obviously one hasn't kept up with the other. Mind you, if I tried to sell beef at £36 a kilo, maybe if it was Wagyu, maybe I should call it Dex 2 or Wagger beef. I don't know. I mean, Wagyu beef seems to fetch a stupid premium, but yeah, I'm not going to get £36 a kilo. I'll produce it and nobody will buy it, and I wouldn't blame them. So yeah, unfortunately, inputs have way overtaken outputs. But you can't keep taking. You can't take stuff from the soil and not put anything back. It needs a bit of help. So that's what we're doing. That's all volunteer rape out there. Look at it. It's like a green carpet. It's a dying green carpet because Reg sprayed it off yesterday. So, yeah, soon to be a yellow carpet. Did you enjoy that? Eh? Poor Simon, he jumped out of his skin. When we were at Reg's, he didn't catch it on camera. He walked up that side of the car, he wasn't in here. And literally he went to just touch the window. I think if the window had been open, you'd have had his hand off, wouldn't you? You made him jump out of his skin. So anyway, but that is, like I reminded him, that is her job. You know, it's you don't get in here unless you're invited. And unless you're me or one of the family, she's never going to invite you. Unless maybe you got a sausage. Then maybe.